Okay guys, so Barcelona have done it again. I told you we were going to come back with a bang, and that's exactly what we've done. Last season, same thing happened. We went on international break after we lost those 4 games in a row, and then we came back with a bang, and now it's happened again. Despite the injuries, the makeshift defense, we scored 6 goals on the night, guys. I saw 3 different players score braces. It's a lot to discuss today, guys, so sit tight and let's do this. Okay, so first of all, I want to just talk about the team spirit, guys. The team spirit today was amazing. And kudos to Flick, because he spoke about the egos, he spoke about playing for each other, and it seems like the team are back. It's like they're mentally back. They're back to that focus. Everyone's playing for each other. I loved what I saw today, and I'm really impressed by the team's display today. And I'm going to talk about a couple of people in a bit, but let's start with the lineup, guys. So it was a makeshift lineup, like I said. It was Gerard Martin, Parkubasi, Garcia and Kounde in defence. And obviously, Araujo didn't start today, which is what I said. Like, I don't think Flick likes Araujo. I'm not going to lie. Because he had the opportunity today to start Araujo, but he went with Garcia and Kubasi, which I don't have any problem with because they actually did play well today. I sort of feel like Flick believes that Eric Garcia understands the offside thing better than Araujo. I don't think he has any confidence that Araujo has really fully grasped the offside thing. But, you know, regardless, it was an amazing performance from our defense today. We didn't concede any goal, which is the first time this season that we've played a full match without conceding. So kudos to the defense. In the midfield, we had a couple of shuffles as well. Obviously, Gavi's still injured. Frankie de Jong is still injured as well. So we started with Pedri, Casado and Fermin, which I was a bit surprised that he started, you know, Casado and Fermin ahead of Dani Olmo. But that started to make sense after a while. We'll get to that in a bit. Now, in attack, it was something that I found really interesting was the fact that Raphinha didn't start today. And obviously, we later got to learn that Raphinha's come late to training this morning. And so that caused Flick to keep him on the bench, which I think was an amazing call by Flick. I absolutely salute that because after the game that we drew to Rayo, if players are now showing up and Raphinha's meant to be one of our captains, if you're then showing up late, that's not a good example. And I think it was a good thing that he was kept on the bench today, which paid off eventually because he came on and then scored 2 goals. But yeah, so it was Ferran Torres, Rashford and Rooney Bargi. So congratulations to Rooney Bargi for his debut today. But if we go into the match proper, from the first minute, we already had an opportunity. It was Kounde off a corner kick that the goalkeeper saved, and then Rashford with a really nice volley, but he didn't manage to get on target. So in my mind, I'm thinking that's signs of things to come. However, the way that the game progressed, I didn't really think that we started. I don't think we started or we continued as strongly as we started, because after that first chance, the next chance then came in the 10th minute. And it was a chance that fell to Ferran Torres. It was a pass from Fermin that Ferran Torres then chips the goalkeeper, but he sort of like chips it wide. And this is something I say about Ferran Torres. He missed a couple of chances on the night, which has become a bit of a pattern with him. Like, he gives you a lot of quality in terms of running in behind, linking up with players. But I just think when it comes to finishing up chances, I think he still has a bit of improvement to do in comparison to who you're coming on for in Lewandowski. In the opening minutes, Rashford was looking really lively. I'm going to say that. However, I just feel like in terms of the end product, it wasn't really there. I think he was looking lively. He was quite threatening in that left wing, but I just feel like the end product wasn't really there, which I think is something that he can improve on. I still think he gets in his head. I still think he's so eager to sort of prove himself in his team. And I think he should just take it a little bit easier. Not like still be focused, still put in that hard work, still put in that shift, but just be a little bit controlled and measured in your approach and in the way that you put out those final balls, because I don't think he was really connecting with the rest of the team as much as I'd have loved him. He was creating chances, don't get me wrong, he was creating chances, but I just feel like there's still, if you see like Lamine Yamal, Raphinha on the ball from the flanks, it's a bit different to what we got from Rashford today. But I'm happy at least that he's not afraid to take on defenders, and I think with time those goals and those assists will start coming. So we did have a couple of chances. Rooney Bargi had a chance that he took a shot at curler and the goalkeeper saved it. But it wasn't really, nothing was really happening. Like I said, it was really slow until the 28th minute. It was like against the run of play. Amazing link-up play between Ferran Torres and Fermin López that then results in an amazing goal from Fermin. And this is what I say about Fermin. Man knows how to take his chances. Anytime he gets a chance, he really he knows how to take those chances, because obviously there's a lot of competition, especially in that midfield. So you need to take your chances. And this is the difference for me between Fermin and the other midfielders that are trying to sort of like earn their place in the Barcelona team, because I feel like Fermin takes his chances, and he did on this occasion. It was an amazing pass, first time ball from Ferran Torres. Again, that amazing link-up play that Ferran is very good at. And then he lays the ball down for Fermin, who then takes the ball in his stride and he opens his body really well, and then he just places the ball in the bottom right corner. And that was our first goal. And from that moment on, I don't think Valencia really stood a chance, because it wasn't long after Casado had a chance in the 38th minute, and it was good to see Casado shooting, actually shooting the ball. The ball goes over the bar off a deflection, but I was really happy to see Casado shooting. I said this not long ago that I'm happy to see Pedri starting to score more goals. And I do think that our midfield, I think this might be something that Flick has been working on. I like that our midfielders are now shooting the ball, because sometimes you will see Lamine Yamal coming from the flanks, or Raphinha or Rashford from the flanks. And you can see that when those flanks are blocked and there's a pass out, it's usually Pedri that's on the edge of the box just waiting to shoot. But I do think now with Fermin shooting, Frankie de Jong, even Casado, I do think that we will pose more of a threat to a lot of teams now that we have more midfielders shooting, because now we have a lot more options to be able to score from. So I think that's really good. Anyways, the halftime ended. It was 1-0. And, you know, it was like, what's this match going to end as? Is it going to be a 1-0 match? I was thinking maybe 2-0. But when we came into the second half, it was an entirely different team. So Raphinha, who obviously started on the bench because of being late today, then came in for Rooney Bargi. And again, Rooney Bargi, I don't know. I think he showed a couple of signs, but I do think obviously it was his first match for Barcelona. Maybe not the dream debut that he would have, dreamed of, obviously, because we were not playing in the Camp Nou. He was a bit subdued in that first half. I think he tried to make a few things work, but, nothing spectacular really happened. So obviously it wasn't the dream start, but I don't think he did too badly. He's going to improve over time. However, straight off the bat, as soon as we started the second half, Ferran Torres then gets another chance. It was a cutback from Rashford that somehow falls to Ferran Torres. And then, I don't know, he just took ages between the first touch and the final shot. And the goalkeeper managed to sort of like close the gap, narrow the gap, and then he eventually just manages to hit the crossbar. And this is another thing I say about Ferran Torres, that reliability. He needs to put away those chances more consistently, because that's what Lewandowski does. And that's why, he's our number one striker. But again, like if Ferran Torres, if he wants to become that main striker that we can depend on, he needs to be a bit more reliable. Rashford was really looking lively. I don't know what Flick said to him in the second half, because he started the second half even stronger than he started the first. And I think he was really threatening down the left flank. He was able to then pick out Raphinha on a really nice diagonal pass. That pass was amazing. That vision, you could see that he already saw Raphinha attempting to make that run, and immediately he put that ball in. And this is one thing I'm going to say about Rashford. His ball sense is really up there. He's really good. He has that footballing IQ. I just think sometimes his abilities let him down, or I think maybe he gets in his head a bit. But I think being able to pick out Raphinha on the inside, I think that was amazing. And Raphinha got on the end of that again. Raphinha with that striker's instinct. And I like that response from Raphinha. He wasn't sulking and saying, "Oh, you didn't start me because I came in late." He sort of like acted like a true leader, a true captain of the team by answering with that goal, answering on the pitch. You don't need to start talking, in press conferences. That's not what we want to see. We want your responses to be on the pitch. And that's exactly what Raphinha did, because as soon as he came in, it wasn't up to 5 minutes when he then put us 2 goals up. And from that point, it was literally Barcelona all the way. We were controlling the game. Valencia didn't really have much opportunities. Johan Garcia didn't have anything to do until the 75th minute. That's when he made his first save. So it was pretty much Barcelona all the way. And speaking of control in midfield, Fermin picked up the ball, sets himself up, and then just a belter with his left foot, his weaker foot, actually. Now, I don't know if Fermin has a weaker foot, because I think he's able to shoot with any foot. If you think about the goal he scored against Real Madrid that got unfairly disallowed, that was with his right. And this time around, he shot this with his left foot, and it was a belter, guys. The goalkeeper stood no chance because he actually got a hand on it, but he just couldn't stop it because of the shot. Like, it was amazing to see Fermin having that confidence to be able to shoot the ball from that distance and to be able to hit the target. And we were 3 goals up. And guys, like I said, in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is like a repeat of last season, which eventually then became, because I think we've met them now in the last 3 meetings against Valencia. I think we scored 18 goals. I think it's been 5-0, 7, and then today now it's 6-0. So Valencia's becoming like our whipping boys. Okay, so it was going to be more goals because in the 66th minute, it was a pass from, I think that was Casado or Fermin, I can't remember. But that ball was played over the top. And then it sort of comes off the hand of the defender and then falls kindly to Raphinha, who then gives a Brazilian type volley that goes straight into the net. The goalkeeper stood, no, I don't think he even was able to, have the time to even react or dive. And that was an amazing Brazilian strike. That only Brazilians can do that, honestly. And the fact that, Raphinha didn't even think before taking that shot and still was able to hit the target. That's amazing. That's the way you come back. That's the way you come off the bench. That's a statement from Raphinha today. And so we're 4-0 up. And I'm thinking this is becoming a trashing. However, in the 67th minute, Lewandowski and Dani Olmo then come on for Ferran Torres and Rashford. And that meant that Fermin had to move to the left, I think. And from then on, it was just continuous pressure from Barcelona. It was chances upon chances upon chances. It wasn't too long after, in the 69th minute, Pedri plays Raphinha in. Raphinha then cuts back and Lewandowski was literally begging to have this ball squared up. And normal Raphinha selfish vibe. He just takes a shot. It's not a proper shot. I think he was in between taking a shot and passing the ball. And I think that chance went begging. But obviously we're 4-0 up. No one's going to lose sleep over that. It was more chances to come. This time around from Fermin. He does really well on the left to keep the ball in play. And then he was able to take the ball into the danger area of Valencia. And was able to beat one defender and then takes a shot that the goalkeeper then saved. And I was like, Fermin is actually looking for a hat-trick. And I was a bit disappointed that he didn't get it at the end. But it was still a lot of positives from Fermin, from a lot of players. Everyone's just playing really well. In the 74th minute, Joe Frey then comes on for Gerard Martin for what was his second appearance of the season. I was happy to see him come on and get those minutes in because I do think we're going to need every player that we can get. We've already lost a lot of players. So I think the more minutes players are able to get, especially players from Barca B, I think that's going to be useful to us in the long run. In the 75th minute, Lewandowski then shows the reason why he's just different. He just shows that's the difference between Lewandowski and Ferran Torres, because Kounde hasn't. By the way, guys, Kounde was amazing on the night. I think apart from the match against Real Madrid where he scored that winner, I think this has been Kounde's best performance in a while. Honestly, because Kounde, and obviously it's down to the fact that Valencia didn't really threaten us that much, but I do think that Kounde, especially going forward, he was amazing today. I don't think he put a foot wrong. His dribbling, his passing, his tackles, everything was well timed. I'm really glad. I don't know if all of those matches that he sat on the bench and Eric Garcia started before him are sort of put a battery in his back, but I think Kounde's performance today was really top notch, and I just felt like that needed to be said. But yeah, Kounde takes the ball forward, very good run into Valencia's half, and then he passes the ball to Olmo, who's then able to find Lewandowski. Brilliant pass from Olmo, and Lewandowski just takes it, and he's not even able to take it properly because he sort of leaves the ball behind a bit, but he was still able to manage to open his body up to still get off a shot, and it was still on target. Comes in off the crossbar and goes into the net, and that is Lewandowski for you. That's surgical precision, that ability to just be clinical in the important moments. That's why Lewandowski is one of the best strikers of his generation. And it was 5-0, and from there I'm thinking it could well be 7. And it wasn't long after Marc Bernal, guys, came into a standing ovation. It was Marc Bernal coming in for Pedri, and it was just beautiful. It was beautiful to watch, guys. Everyone was on their feet clapping for Pedri and also clapping for Marc Bernal, because it's been about 13 months since he's last played. And I think it's an amazing journey that he's had to recovery, and it's amazing to see that young man come back and start playing again. So yeah, I was really happy to see that, and I think Flick was happy as well. Everyone was literally clapping for him. Pedri gave him a nice hug on his way out, and I think that was just amazing to see. And to top it off, the perfect debut for him, he then gives an assist a few minutes later for our 6th goal by Lewandowski, and that was a first-time ball so intelligent, like first time action. And this is what I'm going to say about Marc Bernal. As soon as he came in, from the moment he came in, I felt like he wasn't under any sort of pressure. I just enjoyed the way that he just sort of went about just playing his game. He didn't try to do anything too, overcomplicated. He was just making easy passes, intelligent passes. And I just think like that's what you want from a player. He's just sort of like confident, and he knows that he needs to just give us some time. And that's basically what he did today. We're just passing the ball. And when that moment came, and that's the thing about top players, they're very, very decisive. When that moment came, he just passed that ball first time to Lewandowski, who then amazing chip from Lewandowski, chips the goalkeeper. Guys, Barcelona were really impressive tonight. They were amazing. It was like amazing goals. Like really, I'm really confident going into that game against Newcastle on Thursday. By the way, that match is coming up at 8 p.m. on Thursday, so be on hand to watch that. And that's British Standard Time. I'm going to be back here to do a preview of that match and also do a review after the match as well. So please turn on your notification bell so you can get notified when that comes out. I'm really glad that we finished 6-0 on the night. Amazing performance by Barcelona. I think that team spirit is back. We didn't have Yamal tonight. We didn't start with Lewandowski. We didn't have Frankie de Jong, and still were able to put out an amazing performance. We beat Valencia 6-0. We didn't concede a single goal. Amazing performance. And I'm really, really confident going into that match against Newcastle. Until next time, guys. See you soon. Visca Barça.